We're going to go ahead and get started. So I always start off with the circle.
Don't do this upside down.
The circle is, it represents like this part of your skull, the part that holds your brain, right? So on here, it's going to be like this section here. Usually that circle fits right underneath your nose.
And this is for a 3/4 view.
This is for a 3/4 view. For front view, I also start off with a circle, but I shave the sides of the head because our heads are not that round from the front view.
So you said bottom of the circle is under the nose or tip of the nose?
Under the nose.
Under the nose.
It goes right there. But you know, things change based off of people's face. That's just a good rule of thumb.
Okay.
And you know, if I were to draw a circle here, which I will, why not? Right? The area that encapsulates, and I'm kind of drawing through the hair.
So she,
like right
even though
around
she's
here.
3/4, you're doing like a head-on circle. You're not lifting it at all.
Yes, just a full-on circle. The next thing that I like to do is I like to find the middle line. The middle line represents the middle of your face here. The tough part is, you know, there's no real way to tell you how far you should go. Just kind of feel it out. And I always adjust the length of this all the time. If I need to bring the chin up or the chin down, because I realize, oh, I made this head a little bit too long, don't be afraid to do that. I just do a little line right there at the bottom of the chin. The next thing I do is I like to mark out where my eyes are going to be. A good rule of thumb for that is halfway between the top of your head and your chin. That's where the eyes are. A lot of people tend to put the line halfway on the circle. Don't do that. You want halfway between the eyes and the chin. In this case, her eyes are a little bit slanted because she has her head tilted down. Halfway between the eyes and the chin, that's where your nose is going to be.
So your circle was allowing for all her hair too, right? Your initial circle was allowing for her hair?
Is aligned for her hair.
You were allowing for her hair in the circle?
So for the circle,
Because it just looks to me, at least from where I'm sitting here, that the eyes are way too low. Are you guys getting that? Or are you?
so like the hairline is going to be here, and then it's going to come around
you
here.
were allowing for the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the hair is going to be coming like out of the
Okay.
circle that way. Halfway between the nose and the chin, that's where the lips are going to be. And then, you know, these lines, you are not dedicated to them. If you feel like you need to move them, go ahead and move them. I'm going to move this nose line maybe a touch up higher. When you're doing eyes, if there are these large shadow shapes, you can go ahead and put those in. If you just want to put your eyes in, you can go ahead and do that as well. Eye shapes can be a little tricky. I don't do these little fishy eyes. I like to break my eyes up either like this, where I'll go 1, 2 for the top, 3, 4 for the bottom. I just think it looks a lot more dynamic. It looks a lot more natural. And you can curve out those sharp points if you don't like them as sharp. You can also do a 1, 2, 3. Then a 1, 2. For this person, I'm going to go 1, 2, coming around, 1, 2, like that.
Nope, can you do that again?
1, 2, and then a 1, 2.
And that's this eye?
That's the right eye.
Okay.
Yes.
This?
What's that? This?
Yeah.
It was just a hairline. I was just showing Anne where the hairline was going to
Okay,
go. Yeah.
So 1,
2.
I actually think I should.
So that imaginary line goes right through the center of her nose.
This one?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you decide how far from that line the eye starts, are you going like this far? Is that what you're doing?
So it's either you start with the nose or you start with the eye. I tend to start off with the eyes first before I do the nose, especially in this view because this left eye right here, you see how it's covered by the nose? I wouldn't want to draw both eyes. I'll do one eye, I'll do a shape for the nose, see the distance between the corner of the eye and either like this edge of the nose or this edge of the
But
nose.
how far are you making the inside of the eye from that line?
Like
Are you
here?
just eyeballing that, or? you
I eyeball
got
it.
some- Oh.
You walked into that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so it's like a lot of it. There are measurements that you can use, but I also kind of combine my intuition. I just think it's a little
Combine
bit
your
more fun.
intuition and
Yeah, right.
everything.
If I can only package it. In terms of noses, I like doing this diamond triangle-ish shape, like this. And then I look. A good rule of thumb in terms of spacing for eyes and noses is you can fit one eye in between your eyes.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So I'm going to steal this packet right here. You can fit one eye in between your eyes. So we're going to take a look at this lady right here. So if I were to measure this out, right there.
Hmm.
So that's kind of like the measurement that I use, is if I can fit one eye between them, that's good. The length of the eye that's closer towards you is going to be shorter in that further eye because it's wrapping around your head. So I can't see this corner because it's wrapped around. So that means I shouldn't draw that eye as big as I did the right eye. And it's gonna look real funky if you do. And this line, I'm trying to keep my eyes on this line as well. This eye is a little bit tricky. It's a totally different shape. Don't use the same shape that you used for this. So for this shape, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go like that. So it's more of a 1, 2, 3, 4 type of shape.
Pizza slice.
Yeah, because I can't see that corner, because technically that corner is coming around the other side and wrapping around like that.
So you're gonna have to adjust the forehead to come out to give the brow bone, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna put in that brow bone, which conveniently is right on the circle. That brow ridge, just bring that in. I don't want to give her too big a brow ridge. She's not like a Neanderthal. Once I feel pretty good about the eyes, I can go ahead and start to shape out this part of her face. Just a lot of guesstimations here. I'm going to put in her iris. If you're doing a 3/4 view, that iris is not a circle. It is more of an ellipse. More of an ellipse. Things are really dark, so I'm not going to go super detailed in there. If you want to add in those eyelids, you can add in those eyelids. If you can't see it, don't add it. I'm also going to go ahead and add in the eyebrow, just a line at first. And just think about eyebrows, right? Look at the space between the eyebrows. Don't put them too close. Think about the shape of an eyebrow. you want to add in some shapes for your shadows, that's what I've been doing in a lot of these portraits here. Oh, that's fine. She looks very different. One thing I like to do is I like to add in the nostril for the nose and just shape out the nostril a little bit. You really don't need to add too much to this shape. If you like the shape that you had, then less is more. One thing that helps me is I like to add a little curved line for the philtrum.
Oh, is that what that's called?
Yes. It helps me kind of decide where that middle of the mouth is going to be, because it's not going to be on this line. Our mouth kind of comes out a little bit. We're going to come around. I like to check where the edge of the mouth comes up, and that goes out pretty far. It goes almost to the edge of my eye, so I'm going to bring out that lip quite far. And this one, doesn't even touch the other eye. In fact, it's on the right side of the nose, surprisingly. And this line that I'm doing represents between the lips. She looks a little manly, but I promise we're going to make her look very beautiful.
So you didn't draw out the full lips, you just drew out the middle line
Just
of the
that
lips?
middle line first. I'm going to be adding those lips in just 2 seconds here.
So when you drew the structural line for the lips, that was the center of the lips?
Yes, the
Okay.
line between your lips. I'm going to go ahead and add in that upper lip first. That upper lip is going to be pretty similar to that middle line. They follow very similar shapes to each other. This left part is going to be a little tough. Best piece of advice, draw what you see. And then add in that bottom lip. I'm also going to go ahead and adjust that left line that I have here. Oopsies, my bad. There's a really important part right here that you can't really see, but I'll draw it out for you. It's this part right underneath our lower lip that separates the chin, and I don't know what these are called.
I don't know either.
But super important part. And it's just telling us where our chin is. And I'm going to bring this jaw.
The cleft?
No. I'm talking about like this right here. Right underneath your lower lip. I don't know if there's a name.
Sure there is.
Right.
That's where
If
the
anyone
shadow
knows it,
always
drop a
is.
comment down below. Smash that like button.
Your video will continue at 45 seconds.
Jaw lines are nice because they connect right to the ear. Your ear size, you really can't see it in this picture. It's a little dark. But the ear size matches up with the eye and the nose. So I know right here, I could start my ear right here and I'll be fine. But one thing that I also like to look at is for the hairline. Look at how far the hairline is from your eyebrow and your eye. That spacing is really important. And once we start adding in this hair, it's going to change her look completely. Right? When you do hair, use big shapes. big shapes. Only loose lines for those hairs that are just kind of coming out. Otherwise, try to use these nice big groupings for your hair. Like this one, I'm gonna bring all the way out here. All this kind of comes in like that. Lots of hair wrapping around this way. This hair is gonna be covering her ear right here. So like this looks like it's a good piece together. This curve right here, it's called an S curve, right? If you're just doing this curve like this, C curves. Really important in figure drawing, really great in hair. You want these really nice loose lines. I'm also kind of jumping around and adding shadows where I want shadows later. Big shadow shape here. The neck kind of connects to your ear. We can't see the neck here, which is pretty nice. Less work for us. I'm just gonna add in these big pieces of hair here. And then her shoulder comes down and around. Her collarbone kind of comes up, like her body's a little slanted, which is nice. It's really interesting. And then the rest of her body is covered by her hair, like that. And then you go back and erase all that stuff. And I always forget the ear details. I hate doing this part. I hate drawing ears.
You can't see it.
I know, right? There's hair, exactly. Adjust the jaw how you'd like. Would you guys like to see another drawing?
The jaw is like, it's a fadeaway, it doesn't have a hard edge anyhow.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to go over the proportions at the beginning again. I'm gonna write it down.
I got you. Let's see. Let's compare it. I wish I could just like go over the reference. If I were to put it right next to each other, you know, I would maybe consider bringing the nose out a little bit more. I think for the most part, I'm pretty happy with how everything turned out. That's not too bad at all.
Once you start painting, then,
Yeah. I am going to do a straight on face because it's a little bit easier to see and understand the proportions. I think we only got one straight on face, which is her, and she's tough.
she
I'll
looks
do it.
like, what was that, Emma Stone?
Ah, she does look
Poor
like Emma
thing.
Stone.